story. I'm joined on the set by France 24 reporter Leila Jacinto, who's interviewed Jamal Khashoggi in the past. Leila, what are your thoughts here on the disappearance? Is it surprising?
Well, actually, it's not really surprising. Khashoggi himself was in voluntary exile and has talked publicly about his fear of arrest. So that's not surprising, but it is definitely shocking. It is shocking because it's happened in Turkey. This, of course, we have two versions of the events. Turkey saying that he is in the consulate, Saudi Arabia saying he is not. But most of Khashoggi's friends and supporters and people who know Saudi Arabia believe that he is in the consulate. Now, Khashoggi was very much a Saudi insider. In the old days, he was a very good source on what was going on in the opaque world of Saudi power play. But over the past year, he's been increasingly critical of the young Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, or MBS, as he is known. But the fact that when he went into the consulate and was being held, that is also shocking. It's not that this hasn't happened in the past. MBS has conducted these detentions over the past year. If you remember, the Lebanese Prime Minister Rafiq Hariri was summoned to Saudi Arabia and held there, and it took the French President Emmanuel Macron to defuse that situation. And many prominent Saudi businessmen were also held in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. There's also been another arrest of a prominent women's rights activist in the UAE, in the United Arab Emirates. But the thing is, the UAE and Saudi Arabia are very close allies. The fact that this is happening in Saudi Arabia, in Turkey, is shocking, and it is an extremely high-profile figure. So this also sort of shows the chutzpah of, if this indeed is, he's being detained in the consulate, the sort of chutzpah of Riyadh to make this happen.
Leila, as you were saying, Turkey and Saudi Arabia have given two different versions of this visit to the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Could this story have greater implications for Saudi-Turkish relations in general?
It could. I mean, you can be sure that the Turkish officials are not happy that this is happening there. Of course, if Jamal is in the consulate, he is technically on Saudi soil. But the Turks are not happy that this has happened. And in the language, the discourse that they are using, you can pretty much see it in the subtext of what they're saying. But the fact is, Turkey does not have too much of leverage with Saudi Arabia. Those relations have already been strained because, in this big spat between Saudi Arabia and Qatar, Turkey has come out in favor of Qatar, and Turkey has helped Qatar to evade the economic embargo that was imposed by Saudi Arabia. So there's not that much that Turkey can do. Also, if this has happened and he's indeed being held in the consulate, Saudi Arabia has probably made the calculation that they have the support of the Trump administration, because the Saudis support the Trump administration against the Iran nuclear deal and against Iran. Now, the U.S. State Department, of course, has said that they are monitoring the situation, but what's coming out of D.C. is also very inconsistent. So the Saudis are in a particular position where they can go about doing this to an extremely prominent figure with good contacts in the Western media. And despite the fact that, the media is not going to let this go, it does not seem to have affected them.
Leila, thank you for that, France 24.